my will to defend my country against oppression, Russian oppression.
Russia has massed as many as 190,000 troops around Ukraine.
Here provided for by the regular military, or do you buy it on your own?
Our own.
It's actually our own.
Almost all.
We could see President Putin escalating further and sending troops into the rest of Ukraine.
There's a lot of saber rattling going on about Russia and Ukraine. This video is going to be enlightening as to what the Ukrainian militia, will call it, brings to the table. Let's go.
Look, all these weapons are actually the hunting things that we have a license for.
So in the event of a Russian invasion, you just take your own personal
Yeah,
weapons?
absolutely. I think it's not the obligation, but it's the duty of each man who can carry a rifle.
What we have here, my friends, I'm going to call a civilian militia. What kind of folks are we dealing with? They're going to take up arms to help their fellow countrymen. Are they veterans who served 10 years, 5 of which were in the Middle East? Are they guys running around the woods who've been training all the time? What you're about to see here is going to tell you a lot. We'll call it about the underground.
Sit up and actually be ready.
Слава Україні! Героям слава! Доброго дня всім. Зараз.
With Russian forces massing on the borders, Ukraine's military is preparing to defend against a major offensive.
Now, on purpose, I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds about the conflict, we'll call it, what's really going on. But when you see this militia of Ukrainian citizens, how they're armed, what I'd ask from you is compare this to your local ham and egger who goes out shooting with his buddies, stays prepared, right? Not a survivalist in the bad way, but, keeps his firearm skills going. Tell me what you think's wrong or right about this.
Part of that plan are the Territorial Defense Forces, which include civilian volunteer soldiers who will maintain law and order or perhaps participate in resistance warfare operations should Russia invade.
My main job, I am a lawyer. We must be prepared to defend. If we fail our independence, we will disappear.
Now, over the course of any conflict, you see civilians picking up arms and defending their country. Very often, they're effective at doing it. But when you throw in the curveball of professional people who go out on the weekend, maybe crack off 20 rounds, are they going to be anything more than human shields in the event of a real invasion? And do they serve any purpose besides making themselves feel good? Because when you see this further, you're going to say, whoa, these people aren't really prepared.
What we are doing, we are currently training to support or to counter ambush of the probability of some insurgents that may infiltrate to Ukraine.
So I'm a normal woman, who have full-time job. I have a garden, I have a house, I have 3 kids, I have 10 cats, some 2 dogs.
I've seen some pretty tough cat ladies. We got a doctor, cat lady, likes to garden. She's picking up arms to defend her country. But is a better use of these folks' time perhaps thinking about how to blend in and do subversive operations versus just going mano-a-mano with the threat of the Russian military? I just can't see people who don't do this on a regular basis being effective against a trained army from any country.
Territorial defense, and my husband also here, so...
It's a family event to defend the country, huh?
Yeah.
Право плече вперед!
I came here to have skills to use a gun and to defend, let's say, yourself, your children.
Here we go with a cybersecurity expert. Thinking out loud here, her skills probably be better used at doing the cybersecurity stuff. Let's call it a special forces context versus her carrying an AK-47 on patrol. I just don't see a lot good coming out of this. I do find it endearing. I just don't know that this representation of the civil defense force is really going to get Ukraine too far in the event that, God forbid, something happens.
Бам-бам!
Now we are training to forest fight, and we will use these skills. For example, if we have some sabotage groups here, they infiltrate inside our territory, we will surround them, capture them, and destroy them.
I appreciate the man's heart. His heart's in the right place. The odds aren't in his favor. So if Russia did send in a force that's going to infiltrate, sabotage, they're going to be well-trained troops, right? Going up against the cat lady, the cybersecurity expert, and the doctor, it seems to me like they're going to be a little, we'll call it a disadvantage.
What made you decide to join the Territorial Defense Force?
The main reason, because I love my country. We will be the Operation Reserve, so we will be the first of non-military people who will take weapon, take rifles, and we will help army in all over the places that we can, in logistics, in supply.
Now that sounds like a functional use. Logistics, supply, runners, helping out the military. But I, like most people, like an underdog and think, well, these people may be able to make an impact. But with today's modern tech, drones, super well-trained militaries, I just don't see how these people, in particular because they are used to living professional lifestyles, the upper crust. Hard to compare these type of people to, say, folks in Afghanistan, because the people in Afghanistan are used to living, we'll call it an austere lifestyle. These folks are used to living a nice lifestyle, and it's hard to think they could transition over. Let me know what you think about that one.
Freedom. The first thing is freedom.
And what made you decide to join the Territorial Defense Forces?
My will to defend my country against oppression, Russian oppression.
I hope that these skills I won't use, but I want to be sure that I can.
I don't want my kids to be, to still continue to fight. And I'm afraid they will have to, but anyway, at least I will do everything that's possible.
Their heart's in the right place. Not sure it's going to matter. But hold on before you go crazy in the comments. You look to the desert the last 20 years. The Afghani, the insurgents, were terribly effective. So if this civilian defense force uses asymmetrical tactics, let's just call them freedom fighter tactics, it seems to be the most effective use of their time versus going head-to-head with the Russian military.
I don't want that my children will have the similar experience. Enough. That's enough for Ukrainians.
When you see the news about the Russian buildup on the border, are you personally concerned that there might be a full-scale invasion of Ukraine?
That's a difficult question. Yes, I feel concerned. That's why I'm here. That's why I keep my magazines loaded and my rifle ready and clean. But I hope that will not happen, actually, because that will be a catastrophe for both countries.
A well-trained armed militia has been always baked into the cake for the U.S. But as you've seen, many countries have decided the citizens don't need firearms. I can't see the Ukrainian militia faring well on head-to-head combat, asymmetrical, we'll call it freedom fighter missions. I can see them doing very well. However, question for you, but is the nature of conflict today going to boil down to tech, air superiority, and the ground forces just cleaning up what's left over? So is the militia really going to matter? Let me know, and thanks for watching.